My name is Artis Tyson. I attend Hendrickson High School, and today I will be discussing how Dr. King will ensure defunding of police budgets across America if he was here today, as well as how he would change policing within communities of color if he was here today. Good morning. My name is Artis Tyson. I attend Hendrickson High School. I'm 17 years old. Allow me to begin. Police brutality is nothing new in the United States. For the black man in America, when the police are of mention, he naturally resorts to a state of tension. We all know what to do when pulled over by the police. Put your hands on the wheel, make no sudden movements, answer all of the officers' questions in the most non-threatening way possible. You see, these are words ingrained from years of my parents' teachings. But why? Why do black men and women across America share this similar experience of our parents telling us to be extra cautious with the police, those who are supposed to protect and serve? Well, for one, in the United States, black people in the U.S. Police Department don't have the best history, considering many of our people have been and still are today victims of police brutality. Some argue defunding the police will ensure a decrease in black police brutality victims. However, there is one thing I must say. Defunding the police will not ensure a decrease in black police brutality victims. Ooh-wee! I know y'all don't like the words that just came up out my mouth, but let me tell you something about ideas and realities. Defund the police and use their funds towards advancing the communities of my people? How could I be against such a thing? I assure you I'm not. But no matter how many dollars you do take away, there will still be an officer in your community with a gun, cuffs, baton, authority, and power to bring pain and suffering to your family's doorstep. Don't get me wrong. Every cop is not a racist, but sure enough, a racist cop is a racist badge on or off. Having a hatred for a group of people is not something that just goes away. It's an evil that plagues the mind and makes malice for the heart. So surely when you clock in for duty, those feelings don't just go away. So how would Dr. King ensure defunding of police budgets across America, as well as changing policing within the communities of color? Well, to answer the first question, I believe Dr. King would organize protests and encourage public signature to bring awareness. Once he's gained the officials and public's attention, he would propose a bill to Congress that would put forth funds that would have once gone towards the police, towards projects that would advance the black community on the political, social, and economic level. Now that's the easy part. Bear with me, for answering this next question is not going to be so easy. When I hear the term change policing within the communities of color, the first thing that comes to mind is, how would Dr. King ensure black people are no longer victims of police brutality? Well, I believe Dr. King would have done two things specifically to bring about positive change. The first thing Dr. King would have done would have been getting the public to hold the police accountable who abuse their power. Now, when it comes to holding the police accountable, there are three people critical to making sure this happens: the common man, the fellow officer, as well as the prosecutor. Dr. King was not in the era of cell phones. But if he was here today, he would tell the common man, if you are a witness to anyone being brutalized, record the altercation. The footage could be used as evidence of the officer's wrongdoing and get the victim their deserved justice. To today's fellow officer, Dr. King would say, if you can stand by while your comrade has their knee on my neck, what does this say of you? George Floyd did not pass because of one officer. He passed because the other three allowed it to happen. To today's prosecutor, Dr. King would say, do not excuse an officer who abused their power onto a black citizen, because that sends a message. In today's time, what you tolerate is synonymous for how you will be treated. So if a prosecutor can tolerate and allow an officer who abused their power onto a black citizen to be free, this sends a message to other officers to let them know they will not be prosecuted for their mistreatment of black citizens. Now, the second thing Dr. King would have done to bring about positive change would have been encouraging the youth to love one another. Why the youth specifically? Well, it's easier to raise a young child than to fix a broken man. What this means is attempting to change the mind of a 45-year-old racist would be a rather tedious task compared to raising a young child to respect and love his fellow man despite the color of their skin. We cannot change the minds of every racist in America, but we can teach the children to be better than we are. Because it is the children of today who will be your officers, prosecutors, and lawyers of tomorrow. And if they do not learn to love one another, despite the color of their skin, while they're under the guidance of their parents, they surely will not when they are old enough to leave it. Dr. King once said, one has not started living until they can rise above the narrow confines of their individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of humanity. Each and every one of us here today has our own obligations and stressors. But when it comes to saving black lives, it's not going to take the work of one, not two, not everybody in this room, but everybody abroad to do their part, to bring awareness and to love one another, just as Dr. King would have wanted. Thank you.